tell you a little bit of a story. I started my professional career in December 6th of 1986. I was hired December 6th, 1986. That was just a few months before one of the largest, most devastating market collapses in history up until that particular time, the crash of 1987. I was barely trading at the time that the crash took place because for the first 6 months of my career, I wasn't allowed to trade. I had to be an observer. I was told to sit in the corner, watch, keep my mouth shut, don't say anything stupid, and just observe. That was my job for the first 6 months of my career as a professional trader, to watch, fetch coffee, keep my mouth shut. And so by the time I actually started to get into my trading career, boom, the market experiences. It's one of the largest, most devastating wealth destruction bear markets in all of financial history, the crash of 1987. And before my eyes, I watched 60% of Wall Street get wiped out. I watched traders walking out of the building with boxes in their hands with their personal items, going home because they were let go, fired, released, laid off. This happened right at the very beginning of my career. I was so scared that I thought that for the first time I get an opportunity to experience my dream, and this happens, one of the worst bear markets in financial history. The only reason why I wasn't laid off, the only reason why I wasn't fired at the time was because I was at the base layer. I was at the very beginning low pay level. And had I been higher, I probably would have been axed too at that particular time. So my point is that I had to learn how to survive in one of the worst market environments ever. I had to learn how to handle myself in a bear market environment. I had to learn how to etch out a daily profit, a weekly profit in one of the worst financial conditions possible. And I believe, traders, that because I started my career in a bear market and not a bull market, I believe that's why I'm still alive today. I believe that my illustrious career as a trader is due in part to the fact that I started in a bear market, that I started in a bad market, that I started when it was rough, not when it was easy. It is not possible to get lucky in a bear market. It is not possible to confuse talent for something else. You either get it or have it in a bear market or you don't. And it's extraordinarily clear whether you are talented or not. In a bull market, it is possible to confuse the bull market for skill. It is possible to confuse a rising market for talent. And for the past 14 to 15 years, there's a tremendous number of people in the markets that have been confusing a 14, 15-year runaway bull market, unprecedented rising market environment across all markets, by the way. Many people were confusing that as talent. And now the tide has gone out and has revealed a lot of companies that are not up to par, and a lot of experts that are not up to par, a lot of traders that are not up to par. I believe some of you are lucky, fortunate, just like me, because if you start now in the worst of times, I promise you, and you don't quit, you don't stop, you stay at it. If you cut your teeth now, when the market is sloppy, when the market is bearish, when the market is down, when most people have a hard time making money, you start now, I promise you, when the market turns, oh my God, that's what happened to me. The crash of 1987 led to a little mini bear market a few years later, which was due to the Iraqi war, 1989-90. And then after that, oh my God, one of the most unprecedented bull runs in the 1990s kicked off from that bear market bottom. That bullish move to the upside, that decade-long bull move to the upside, nearly decade-long, was kicked off from the bear market. That bull market that kicked off from the bear market of 1987. That bull market was the birth also of the dot-com era, the internet boom period. But everything got wiped out in 1987, all right? And only after that started to come around in early 1990s to kick off the bull run from that bottom. And I believe that the best traders come out of bear markets. The very best market participants, they come out of rough times. What's that saying? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, right? And the cycle repeats. Well, in the market, bear markets create masterful traders. Masterful traders come from the worst periods in the market. And I would go as far as saying the worst traders come from the top of a bull market, because almost everything you do works. Even the stupid things work. Even the trading mistakes work. The rising tide is raising all the boats, the good boats, the mediocre boats, the crappy boats, even the boats with holes at the bottom of them are being raised by the entire tide raising. When the tide goes out, you find out which boats are the best boats. You don't always find out in the bull market. So my message today is that if you haven't started your foray into one of the best activities on planet Earth, trading, if you haven't done it yet, I'd strongly encourage that you start now, traders. Now is the time. You don't want to wait for the market to turn. You don't want to wait for the bull market to come back. You don't want to wait for things to improve. You want to already have it down when that happens. You want to already have cut your teeth. You want to already be skillful. You want to get basically crystallized and hardened and sharpened by this market, so that by the time the market's turn happens, it's like a piece of cake for you. These are the times that create masterful traders. I believe that some of you who are going to start now in the trials of this bear market, some of you are going to become super traders. The odds are higher that you become super traders in this market environment. And so I would strongly encourage that you do that. Strongly encourage that you do that. This activity, traders, changed my entire life. I know many of you know my story or a portion of my story, but I have never done anything else in my life. Never. From the age of 15, all I ever wanted to do was to trade the markets, was to be a market participant, a speculator, an investor, a trader. From the age of 15, I never had a plan B. I never had another wish. I never had another desire. I never wanted to be anything else ever in my life. And I never had a backup plan. I never had one of those. I never had a plan B. I never felt as though this was something that I would try, and if it didn't work, move on. Never in my career, never in my life. It has changed my life from the age of 15, and it continues to change my life. And one of the things that I find so special about this activity is its intrinsic ability to make the participant a better human being. You guys have all heard me talk about this. This is an activity that fosters the utmost responsibility This is an activity that fosters the utmost level of discipline. This activity calls for you to become true as an individual, true as a man, true as a human being, true as a woman. You have to work on mastering yourself, and then you take that mastered self into the market. And the problem that a lot of people have is that they're looking for mastery in the market when mastery has to be in the self. You have to become a better individual. You, in this activity, have to become more responsible. You have to become more disciplined. You have to become better. You have to become sharper. You have to keep your promises. You have to keep your word. You have to become a man or a woman who does what they say they're going to do every single time. And that working on you is the spiritual aspect of this activity we call trading. This is far greater than buying something for $1 and selling it for $2. If that's all this activity was about, guys, I will tell you a long time ago, I would have gotten bored with it. It's far greater than that. And it remains challenging to this very day. I'm going on almost 42 years of trading, not 42 years professionally. That's 36 years professionally. But I was a developing trader before I was a professional trader. And if you count the developmental years, all right, we're working on 4 decades of virtually playing the markets every single day that it was open. And I will tell you that after 42 plus years of doing this virtually every business day of my life, there is not a single day that I get that I'm not challenged. And I like that. There's not a single day that I don't get a little bit of a feeling of butterflies in my stomach, but in an exciting way. There's not a single day that I get tired or bored or don't want to do it ever. Ever. It is exactly the same as it was 42 years ago. Every single morning, I get up and flip open this laptop, fire up my trading platform, and ready to go. We're one of the only groups in the world that loves Mondays. Is our favorite day as a trader. Some of my traders will tell you that. We get the blessing of starting another week at an activity that we will never give up on. An activity that gives us the ultimate level of freedom and independence. And this is what captured me about trading, guys. What captured me initially about trading was its one-on-one nature. It's this activity that you could never blame someone else for. You could never blame someone else. There's no team members that you have to rely on. There is no, if you trade for yourself, there's no company that you have to rely on. There's no other person that you can blame or that can mess you up. It's just you and the market. I loved that aspect about it. I love that I was in something where I have to take on all of the responsibility. Is not a shared responsibility with any other soul on planet Earth. And that if I mess up, it is 100% my mess up. It is not the mess up of another team member or the mess up of another colleague. It's my mess up. And I loved that aspect about it. And maybe that's because I'm an only child. I like dealing. I loved dealing with that aspect. I loved not having to rely on anyone else except myself. I loved that this is an activity that fosters discipline. If you want to survive, you're going to have to grow your discipline. If you want to last in this game, you're going to have to become more disciplined. And what I realized, traders, is that discipline cannot be developed in one part of your life and not spill over into every other part of your life. And that's an incredibly big blessing. You can't become a more disciplined trader and not become a more disciplined human being elsewhere. It's not like you can become disciplined as a trader and then discipline says, uh-oh, my time is up. You're not trading anymore. See you tomorrow. And then your discipline leaves you. No, if you develop discipline as a trader, you'll be a disciplined human being in virtually every human endeavor you ever take on. That discipline is universal. It's forever. It touches all things. And I discovered this through my trading, that as I became a more disciplined trader, I became a more disciplined father. I became a more disciplined friend, a more disciplined everything. And in that aspect, my journey to become better and better as a trader was almost simultaneously the journey of becoming a better human being in a lot of different aspects. Think about it this way. All the characteristics that are required to be a good trader, aren't they the same characteristics that are required to be good at almost anything? As a trader, you have to be disciplined. Well, every endeavor requires discipline in life. In order to become a good trader, you have to be able to spot and identify opportunity. You have to be able to determine what's a good opportunity from what's a not so good opportunity. That skill is a life skill. That's not just a trading skill. Every individual in the world needs to nurture this ability to be able to ferret out of life what is an abnormal opportunity, what is a good opportunity versus what is a bad or not so great opportunity. That's a life skill, the ability to say that's a buy and that's not a buy. To be able to have that in life, to say that's an opportunity, but that's not an opportunity. That's a life skill. In order to be a good trader, you have to become good at cutting your losses. How many people in life get into trouble because they don't cut their losses? How many people are stuck in very destructive relationships because they can't cut their loss? In order to be a good trader, you've got to be able to manage the trade properly between your buy point and your exit point. What happens in between? You can't just hope and pray in between these 2 points, buy and sell. You've got to know what to do in between those 2 points. You've got to know how to manage the trade, how to adjust your protection, how to adjust your stops. You've got to know when to double down on an opportunity. These are life skills, not just trading skills. When do you double down on something versus when do you cut it out of your life? You can't. That is a life skill. To know the difference between, no, I know this is not quite working yet, but it's time to double down on this. It's time to go in even deeper on this thing versus, nope, this is not working. It's time to cut my losses. How many people in life have that skill set? To become a master trader, you've got to know the difference between when it's time to cut it out of your life, cut your losses, versus when it's time to double down on this thing. What has made trading so spiritual in nature to me are all of these things, with the same precepts that call for me being a master trader. The same characteristics are the characteristics that make me into a better human being, a better everything. This is one of the reasons why, in particular, I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot. I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this. But it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for, oh my God, what's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence. And I dedicated my professional career to spreading the gospel of trading for this reason. The reason I just stated, because I believe, because of what trading did for me, I believe that every single human being, every single one, should at least give it a try. And this is largely why I create a program that gives the trader the ability to see if this is for them. It's not for everyone, I get it. But how do you know if it's for you or not if you don't give it a shot? Now, the problem is that most people give it a shot, realize that this is not for them after losing a tremendous amount of money, after doing financial harm to their families. And so I set out to create a program that gives every person the ability to give this a try without hurting your family, without going through hardship or financial loss. And that's why for the last nearly 30 years, 3 decades, I have been on this warpath to spread the gospel of trading and to give people, to remove the excuses that most people have for trying this, which is largely capital. It is why I provide my own capital for my traders if they want it. Okay. And why I believe that even I continue to learn after 42 years of trading, 36 years of professional trading. I continue to learn. That's the reason why I designed a program that gives you 100% of the capital you need and that will forever train you until you either don't want that training anymore, but training is forever. I believe in that in this space, education and training is forever. I am still undergoing training. I am still being educated. I am still making new discoveries. And for that reason, my traders get training every single day of their life. I don't care how good they are. I don't care how long they've been at this game. I don't care how skillful they think they are. They get trained every single day of their life because I'm still being trained every single day of my life. And I wouldn't have it any other way. That horizon traders, it keeps getting further and further. But I like that. I like that. Now, some people say, Oliver, but trading is so hard. It is. It's simple, but it is not easy. In fact, it's hard. I will not mince words with you. This will be the most difficult thing you ever take up in your life. It's going to be the hardest thing you try your whole life. This right here, trading. I will not mince words with you. Anybody, do you agree with me? I want to see how many people agree that this is the most difficult activity on earth. It's one of the most rewarding if you get it, but it's difficult. It's the most challenging thing you will ever take up in your whole life. All right? Ever take up in your whole life. But that's what fascinated me. That didn't scare me. That made me want to sign up to this activity more. The fact that the majority of people can't do it right. The fact that I would be regarded as special if I were one of the ones that got it. I wanted it to be hard. Do you understand? I wanted it to be rare if you succeed at it. I want the majority of people to fail. I want there to be challenges and hardships to make it. I want there to be a high price to pay for success at this. That's what makes it special. It's not special if it's easy. It's not special if everybody can do it. It's not special if you walk out of your house and almost every single person you see is a successful trader. That makes it not special. It's special because it's hard. It's special because it takes time. It's special because it requires sacrifices. It's special because there are multiple upon multiple challenges in front of your success. It's special because it's the most difficult thing you will ever take up on your life. I'm challenged by that, traders. I wanted that. That made me want to sign up more, not less. I'm not looking for easy. I want to be respected. I wanted to be good at this because I knew that it was so rare that I'd be regarded special for the rest of my life. That every cocktail party, people would want to talk to me. Every gathering, every meeting, every country, every city. If you become good at the financial markets, if you become good at trading, you will be desired all over the world. And money will chase you. Most people in this world, they're chasing money, and it's wrong. Money does not like to be chased, traders. If you start chasing money, money says, ew, I don't want you, and it starts running away from you. Money does not want to be chased. Money chases talent. Money is the chaser. But you got millions of people out here chasing money. Wrong. They should be trying to become talented at something. They should be trying to become skilled at something. And that skill, that talent will cause money to chase them. Money is the chaser. And if you get talented at this, do you know how much money will chase you every single day of your life? Do you know how many people will say, can you trade my money for me? Can I give you my retirement? Can I give you this? Can I do? Money will chase you to the day you die if you become good at this. That's what I wanted. Now, I know there's some of you who want the same thing. There's some of you who want the same thing. You watch my videos every single day. You write messages to me in my DMs. I know this. It's time. It's time to start this now. This is the very best time. And some of you, not going to be a lot of you, never will be, but some of you that start right now, some of you are the market's future super traders because bear markets bring about the best traders of all. I didn't realize this, traders, when I first started. I didn't know it. I realized this in retrospect. I realized that I was out surviving most traders that would eventually blow up and leave the business because they started when things were good. And when things turned bad, they didn't know how to deal with it. Guys, I've lived through 8 bear markets. Most people haven't lived through one. They still haven't gotten through this one yet. It's still going. They're still not through the first one yet. I've been through 8. Arguably 9. This is the 9th one. I'm talking about 8 complete bear markets in my whole career. And interestingly enough, I thrived in every single one. The collapse of 2008, that was the best bear market of my life. All right, we'll see about this one, but that was the best bear market of my life. 2008. 2000 was an amazing bear market. It set my life on a much, much higher level. That crash, that .com crash, benefited in a huge way. There was bear markets of 1997, 1998, 90, 91, 87. All of these were beneficial. We need bear markets. We need resets, traders. We need wiping things that should not be around away. Get rid of all the scammers. Get rid of all the zombie companies, get rid of all the fake gurus out there. Reset, wipe everything, crash everything, bring it back to ground zero. And whoever's left standing, you know, is real. I want that to be you. All right, guys. And guys, when I say those 8, 9 bear markets, I am counting the really brief ones. So, and I don't know if that's entirely fair, but there was a brief bear market of 1997. There's a brief bear market of 1998. And really, guys, remember what is regarded a bear market is statistically any decline of 20% or more in your overall broader indices, right? And so even if that were a brief drop below 20%, it actually goes on the books as an official bear market. And so 97 and 98 were one of those brief bear markets. One was kicked off in 1997, 98. One was kicked off by the Russian ruble collapse. The other was kicked off by the Asian tiger collapse. The bear market of 1990, that was kicked off by the Iraqi war. We know the crash of 1987. We know the crash of 2000. We know the financial collapse of 2008. And of course, we know the 2020 did register as a bear market ever so briefly, right? Just because we dipped below, we had a 35% collapse in a matter of days. And of course, the whip back to the upside, but still, it counts as a bear market on the books. All right, so I'm counting those brief ones as well. This one's not going to be so brief. So you still have time in this bear market to cut your teeth and get better at this. All right, to get better now, to get skilled now, to do it now, to get prepared now with your ability so that when the market turns, it's easy for you. All right, the rising market is easy if you cut your teeth in the bear market, if you get your skill in the bear market. Price action trading says COVID is my first bear market. Yes, ever so brief, ever so brief. So that's a little strange one there. Everything is camouflaged by the rising market. Your timing can be off and you still win. Your skill is not as sharp, but you still win. All right. You make a variety of mistakes, but you still win. It's not punishing. And the bear market is punishing. You get one little razor thing wrong in a bear market and you get punished, and you get punished hard. And so it requires exactness. It requires just a higher level of perfectionism, you know? That's where you want to cut your teeth. You want to start now. And even if you start it wrong, I mean, the fact that you're still at it now is going to help. All right? Wipe the slate clean and just start working on precision. Precision in finding your opportunities, precision in entering your plays, precision in getting out at your stops exactly where you're supposed to get out. Practice precision, practice being exact. It's going to pay off when the market turns.